Hi everyone, this is Dr. Lynch and I'm here to give you a tutorial about how to use the Common Application for Transfer. This will just be a review if you've already watched the Honors Transfer seminar, and that link will be provided in the notes on YouTube. So first of all, if you are transferring from a community college to a four-year school, you must use the Common Application for Transfer. That's different from the Common Application that you use as a high school student. So make sure that you're going to the appropriate address, apply.transfer.commonapp.org, and that this is the Common App for Transfer and not the other one. Then you're going to log in using your name, your username and password, and you can set that up if you need to by hitting create an account, okay? And again, this is a different application from the Common App for high school students. Now, I've created a student account in the Common Application for Transfer because I want to make sure that I'm seeing what you see every year so that I can support you as best I can. When you log in for the first time, you will likely be taken to this screen, the Add Program screen, where you'll be invited to select a program that you're interested in pursuing. And once you do that, you'll see that list of programs that you've selected over here in the View Selected Programs area. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you what it looks like to select a program, and I'm going to choose Cornell because I know that's a popular choice for many of you. So I'm actually just going to search the word Cornell, and I'm doing this for a very particular reason. When I search Cornell, what I see are two different entries, and you need to pay very careful attention here. The first is Cornell College, and that is in the state of Iowa. And that's not what we want, right? I mean, some of you might be interested in that one, but most of the people who go from RCC to Cornell are going to Cornell University, the Ivy League institution. And that one down here is in Ithaca, New York, Cornell University. So you always want to be extra careful that you are selecting the correct institution. The other thing you want to do is pay attention to fall versus spring. So here we want to apply for the fall of 2022. We are also going to see some really good information about the deadline. It's March 15th of 2022, and we can see the fee, which is $80. Now there is a way to get waivers for the fee, and I'll show you how that works in a few minutes. But for now, we are sure that this is the institution we want to apply to. We hit the plus button. Now, I have selected many institutions. I do this whenever I'm helping students with their Common Application. So you'll see when I get to the program materials section of the application that I have many universities selected. But I wanted to go through that step so that you know how to do it. Once you go to your application, you see things in 4 quadrants, okay? And what's important to remember is that the first 3 quadrants, personal information, supporting information, and academic history, those contain information that will be sent to every single school that you apply to. The program materials section is all about what each individual college wants, okay? So the best way to think about it is all these 3, personal, academic, and supporting, that information you fill it out one time and it gets sent to every school you apply to. Whereas the program materials section makes you fill out different information for each college or university to which you are applying. We'll just do quick overviews here. Each quadrant has multiple sections in it. A lot of times it doesn't take very long to complete these sections. So for example, biographic information is asking you, a few questions that, you'll see that'll be very familiar. And if we go back in here, you can also see your contact information, your nationality, etc. Now, the one part of this that I want to focus on for just a second is the fee waiver. If you believe that financial circumstances could interfere with your ability to pay for college applications, you can click yes. Now, you have to meet one of these indicators of economic need to qualify for an application fee waiver. So if you don't qualify for any of these indicators, unfortunately, you would not be able to get the waiver. But please do read everything carefully and see if you qualify, okay? That's the personal information section. Then we're going to go to supporting information. Here you have a chance to talk about all the experiences that you've done while you've been at Rockland Community College. And this is really important. It's important to list these experiences, to describe them thoroughly. And so, for example, you can use extracurricular activities like clubs, family responsibilities, like if you need to take care of a sibling for a certain number of hours per week, hobbies, Volunteer opportunities, work. If you work 3 jobs, you should put them all here as different experiences. You can list your internship here, any research that you've done. And remember, RCC has great research opportunities through the biology department. And so when you add an experience, you're just going to fill out the form. Only the parts that are that have the red asterisk are required. Okay, and so the most important thing is that you talk about the title and then you describe your key responsibilities. So you want to make sure you complete this section well to show your programs, your colleges, what you've been doing for the past few years. There are also 3 other parts of this section: achievements, documents, and affirmation statements. Achievements are things like awards, so that would be what you would include there. Okay, and then the last quadrant that we'll talk about, that again is information sent to every institution you apply to, is your academic history. Now, first you have to start with any high schools that you attended, then any colleges that you attended. You also need to select your college coursework. So I'm just going to start with the colleges here, and we're going to add a college or university, and I'm just going to start to type in Rockland, okay? And then you'll see SUNY Rockland Community College. And it's up to you to click yes or no with this question. Did you obtain or are you planning to obtain a degree? If you are going to graduate, yes. If you are not going to graduate, no. Okay, so I'm not graduating. I'm not a student, but I'm going to select no. And we use semester terms, and I would say, yes, I'm still attending. Now, at this point, I would go ahead and I would fill in the information about when I started. Okay, so if I started in this past, in the fall of 2019, I would select September of 2019. Okay, and then once I've done that, I can hit save. All right, now I'm eligible to start the section on college coursework. Okay, and so you don't always need to fill out this section. By the way, it's really important, everybody. Don't just start answering the questions. Read the instructions first and read them carefully and reread them if you don't understand the first time. Because what we learn when we look at this part is that not everybody has to fill in this part. Some programs require you to enter only courses that meet prerequisite requirements, while other programs require you to enter your entire transcript on this page. It's really unfortunate when that happens, but I'm going to show you how that works, okay? Now, if I look down here to program requirements, one of my colleges, Haverford, and I chose Haverford because a student I was working with was interested in Haverford, so we were looking at its requirements. Haverford is the only college that needs me to actually fill in my entire transcript. What that means is I need to go to self-service, and I need to look at my transcript, and I need to fill in every single course that I took for every semester that I was at Rockland Community College, including any transfer credits that I got through advanced placement courses, through Syracuse or Albany courses that I took in high school. All of that, anything I got college credit for, needs to be added to this transcript, okay? It's a pain when a school asks you to do that, but as we've seen, not every school does. So just read the instructions carefully and then complete whatever parts of this you need. My hope is that you won't need to do it at all, but you might, okay? Now, the rest of this is going to be about your GPA, your standardized tests, etc., and you'll just input that information as you need it. The last part is in many ways the trickiest part, because this is where each program you're applying to asks you for different things. So, for example, when I click on program materials, you see that it's broken out by schools. And the schools I'm applying to, because again, these are all schools that I've added by working with students in the past, are Carnegie Mellon, NYU, Manhattanville, etc. I'm going to go down to Cornell because that's the one we just added together, and I want to show you what Cornell looks like in this section. When I click on Cornell, you'll see that I have 4 tabs in the top: home, questions, documents, and recommendations. Not every college has 4 tabs, some of them have 3, but you always want to read through each of the tabs very carefully. Home is always going to provide you with information: the phone number, the email address, the website, etc., the test policies, all of those kinds of things, okay? And so you want to read through this carefully to make sure you understand, what is required of you. The next part is called questions. Questions is a place where a writing essay can exist, okay? So if you need to write an essay for your transfer school, this is one of the tabs where you might need to submit an essay. The other tab where you might need to submit an essay is documents, and we're actually going to see both. One reason why I love using Cornell is because they have an essay that they ask you in questions, and they have an essay that they ask you to do in documents. So you have to check both tabs, be very vigilant about reading everything thoroughly. There are a few drop-down questions to answer here. I'm going to focus on the college or school to which you are applying. Cornell University is a traditional sort of European-style university with many different colleges within it, and you need to choose one college that you're going to apply to. The drop-down menu will give you your choices. Now, one thing to remember is that of these selections, 3 are the most transfer-friendly, and they are the College of Agriculture and Life Science, the College of Human Ecology, and the College of Industrial Labor Relations. We have also had students get into the Cornell S.C. Johnson College of Business, both to do the applied economics major and to do the hotel administration major. Where we have seen zero success recently is in the College of Arts and Sciences. So if you want to be an English major at Cornell, or if you want to be a physics major at Cornell, that's where you would apply, but their transfer acceptance rate is like 1%. So we don't advise you to apply to that school because it's so hard to get into. But if that's the only college within Cornell that your major is, then you would need to take your chances there, okay? We have seen most luck with CALS, Agriculture and Life Science, with Human Ecology, and with ILR. Now, you don't want to apply to one of those schools if your major isn't there. So just do your research, go to Cornell's website, make sure that you know where you're applying at Cornell. For now, I'm actually going to choose the College of Business. And when I do that, you'll see that I have a drop-down menu here that asks me to check my major. And I'm going to do the Applied Economics and Management major. Now, when I do that, as soon as I've chosen my college, that triggers other questions that are specifically oriented toward that part of Cornell. And once you get into Cornell, if you got into the S.C. Johnson College of Business, you cannot transfer to the School of Arts and Sciences. So you really have to be careful that your selection is the correct one here. You're then going to go ahead and complete the other questions, okay? And this is a place where you get to your first essay. Now, the essays are an opportunity. I know that they're stressful. I do know that. But they are also an opportunity because you're telling a story. And your entire application is a story. The story includes some numbers, your transcript, your grades. The story includes other people's voices, your recommenders, your letters of recommendation. And the story that you're telling includes your voice. And this is where you get to tell us about yourself. And it's hard to write these essays, but there are some really good strategies. I have a whole different video about that. I'll put the link in the comment section, in the description of this video as well. Whenever you get to an essay, what you want to do is you want to copy the prompt, including the number of word or characters that the essay needs to be, and you want to paste that into a Word document or a Google Doc. You have access to both for free through RCC. You do not want to write your response in this box. You want to write it somewhere else, share it with people you trust, get feedback on it, revise it, polish it, and then when it's done, you paste it here, okay? Really important to not write in the box because you could lose your material and you don't want that. Then we're going to answer the rest of the questions here, okay? And I want to show you now the Documents tab. It's going to flag me that I haven't saved things. I don't care. I'm not actually applying to Cornell. Okay. In the Documents section, you have to read very carefully again. It says, first of all, that supporting material is required of all transfer applicants, and it gives you a site to make sure that you know all the requirements. Then it tells you about another piece of writing you have to do. The personal statement helps colleges get to know you better. Please provide this number character statement discussing your educational past. Well, that's pretty vague. It also provides this clarifying question: how does continuing your education at a new institution help you achieve your future goals? Now, you all are in good shape because you're at a community college and you can't get a 4-year degree from Rockland Community College. You can get a 4-year degree at Rockland Community College if you're pursuing the opportunities we have through our university center. So for example, we have SUNY Cobleskill and Excelsior that offer 4-year degrees at RCC. But RCC is a 2-year school, and so you have to transfer somewhere to get a 4-year degree. So you don't have to spend a lot of time on why you're transferring. What you want to do instead is to talk about your educational journey and how your time at RCC factored into that, all the great things you've done there, and then how your next step is going to factor into the journey that you're on and the decisions that you're making and your goals for yourself. Okay? So that's what you want to do with this essay. And again, you want to take this prompt and copy paste it into a Google Doc or a Word file. Do not, be very careful that you're not just doing this quickly without anyone else taking a look at it. The last things I want to talk about are the midterm report and the college report. Cornell is going to ask you for both of these. The college report, if you are an honors student at Rockland Community College, you should fill out the college report, fill out the top of it. You'll download it here with this link, and then you send it to me, and you tell me where I should send it to, okay? You tell me the email addresses, the places where I should send it to, and I will complete the remainder of your college report, okay? The midterm report is something you do when you're in the middle of the spring 2022 semester. And you take that midterm report around to each of your professors. They sign the midterm report. They write a little note about which grade you're getting, and then you can send that along to each college. Okay? So just know the documents are right here. And not only are they right here, but also they are here in supporting information. If you go to documents, you will see the college report and the midterm report here. These create PDFs for you when you download them. Okay? So that is everything that from the first few tabs, but I want to go back to Cornell and I want to show you the final tab, recommendations. A school may or may not require letters of recommendations, but if they do, and if you're using the Common Application to apply to that school, then those requests will appear here, okay? So what you see from Cornell is that Cornell requires only one letter of recommendation, one academic recommendation. An academic recommendation must come from a professor who has taught you at Rockland Community College, preferably a professor whose class you did really well in and with whom you have really good rapport. And so when you request that letter from that professor, you're going to, first of all, have a conversation with the professor. Dear Professor so-and-so, may I ask for a letter of recommendation from you? And if they say yes, you say, great, thank you very much. The Common Application will be in touch. You then hit the plus button. You fill out their name, their email address, and the due date. Now, if I were you, I would put the due date to be about 5 days before the actual deadline of the application, okay? Just to give yourself a little bit of breathing room there. In the personal message or notes, make sure you say thank you. It's really important because they're doing you a big favor, okay? It takes a long time to write a letter. I know, I write a bunch of them. And then you are going to choose whether or not to waive your right of access to this recommendation. You'll fill out the rest, and then you will hit save. When you hit save, the Common Application will send a notice to the email address that you have put in the field. So you have to make sure that it's the right one. And then the Common Application will send a message out to the professor, so-and-so has requested your recommendation, and the professor will use a link in that email to upload their letter, okay, and to answer a bunch of questions. So just make sure that you're talking to your recommenders before you go ahead and input their information here. So that is a broad overview of the Common Application. There may be other specific questions that you have as you're filling this out. At every stage, you can always get help. The Common Application has a help feature. You can also ask me, and sometimes I'll be able to help you, and sometimes I might also be confused, and we'll have to ask the Common App together. But this is only one way, too, that you apply to 4-year schools. One thing I want you to remember is if you're applying to SUNY schools, you should never use the Common App. You should always use, and we'll just go there really quickly, SUNY.edu. It's easy, it's free, much easier to use for Binghamton, Stony Brook, Buffalo, Oneonta, etc. than the Common Application. Here you would just click apply, and you would click apply to SUNY, and you'd make your account. You do not need letters of recommendation for most programs. You do not need anything except the application and a transcript from Rockland Community College, okay? CUNY is another one, cuny.edu. Now, CUNY, there is a fee, and it's not free to transfer between SUNY and CUNY, but they have their own application, and the deadline is February 1st. Today, it is January 13th, so if you want to go to CUNY in the fall of 2022 and you haven't started applying yet, you're going to have to start today, okay? You have to start now. The other thing to remember is that you're going to need transcripts from your high school and from your college for most of these schools. Now, when you ask your high school for a transcript, that transcript has to be sent from your high school to the college that you're applying to. And that has to be done through your high school. RCC cannot help you with that, unfortunately. But we can help you with transcripts from Rockland Community College. So here at the RCC homepage, you can search for the word transcripts. And I'm also going to send this information out in an email to honor students. But here you go to transcript request, and you'll be taken to this site that explains how to order your transcripts. They're $5 per copy. You cannot have a financial hold on your account, so that's important. And then you click on order your transcripts, okay? You're gonna fill out the information, and you're gonna make sure that you specify exactly where the transcript goes. You can order an electronic transcript to go to a particular address, or you can order a paper transcript to go to a particular address. And so you'll fill out this form, and you'll have RCC send your official transcripts. Now, the last thing I want to show you is, what if you want to do an unofficial transcript, okay? If you have a school that says we will accept an unofficial transcript, then you can actually go through self-service and you can print out, or rather create a PDF of your transcript. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to use our fake student, Rocky Hawk, okay? I'm not going to use a real student. That would be unethical. So I'm going to search for Rocky Hawk. He is a fake student, obviously. And there he is. And Rocky's transcript is here, okay? So when I go to transcript, well, first of all, he has a financial hold, which is unfortunate for Rocky because that means he wouldn't be able to get an official transcript. He would need to resolve that hold. So hopefully he'll be able to do that. Now, the next thing I want to show you is if you want that unofficial transcript, how to go about it. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to hit print, okay? However you do that on your computer. I'm on a Mac, so I do that with Command P. And then the screen pops up, and I'm actually not sure whether you all will be able to see this screen. I think you might be able to. Hopefully you will. But there is an option on a print screen that allows you to save as PDF. So you're going to find that option on your print screen, and you are going to save as a PDF this transcript. Then you can go ahead and upload it, and that will be an unofficial transcript, okay? I know I've gone over a whole bunch of things very quickly, but this is just a basic overview. If you need more assistance, please reach out to your honors mentor. You're also welcome to book an appointment with me, and I wish you good luck in your transfer process. I know it's stressful, but I also know you can do this. Just be organized, all right? Take care and good luck, everybody.